Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my Ironman series. The series where we do PVM, PvP, we craft, we gather, all to work towards an 8.3 set without ever using the auction house. With a lot of discoveries made, and a lot of lives lost, this is how the story continues. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I've had a lot of trouble making the video. And the reason why I've had a lot of troubles making this video isn't because I've been lacking content. Actually, it's a little bit of the opposite problem. I've actually, since I haven't really uploaded a Ironman video in almost 2 months, I have so much stuff that I've technically done that I honestly don't exactly remember what all I've done. So right now, I'm going to be making this very long clip, going through a few things. One of the things you might notice as soon as I open my inventory is I have an 8.3 Scholar Cal right now. That's actually really good if I use the Scholar. That saves me so much time. I ended up getting a tier 8 Scholar Cal from a Slayer tier dungeon at some point, and I did unlock Slayer tier. I've done a decent amount of Slayer tier. I think our current infamy is sitting around 152,000. You love to see it. I've only died once in the dungeons thus far. This Baden, I don't know how he managed to keep up with me considering I had so much mobility, but he did, and he ended up chasing me down and killing me. This death was a long time ago, but this is the most recent death that we have, which was in the Corrupted Lair. This was me suiciding into some guy who had much higher IP, but that was ages ago. So the next thing that we pretty much did gloss over is that I'm actually running low on premium right now. I do have 3,000 gold purchased. I sold pretty much everything in my bank as far as my loot tab goes. I do have some things left in here, but this is loot that I've gotten from a lot of Slayer tier dungeons. I sold a lot of it already, but of course we have the equipables tab. I'm going to do a quick scroll through this. If there is stuff in here that you don't remember me having, that's because it's new, and honestly guys, I don't remember what I used to have or what I did have. And you know, as a good YouTuber, I would go back and rewatch my own video to actually give you guys some accurate information, but I can't be asked to do that right now. So I do have a ton of goose pies. One of the reasons why I've had troubles uploading this next video is because I have a lot of gathering ahead of me. Having the tier 7 stone cutter here, I also ended up basically unlocking the ability to craft tier 7 warrior gear already, and this should be the last one I need to study. Oh, I just crafted 3 more. This will be the last 5 that I have to study. Let's go ahead and I'll just study this one, whatever. I think I fucked up, but I don't think it matters because there we go. Level 60 warrior crafter. We can make what we cannot use. Tier 7 warrior gear. So now we actually can craft the tier 7 warrior gear that we need. However, we cannot currently use the tier 7 warrior gear, and we're still a decent ways off. However, we have to gather a lot of stone in order to upgrade the buildings we need to get to essentially the end game of this account. So the end game of this account looks like this. We need to be able to craft a tier 8 dual swords, tier 8 leather body, and tier 8 boots. I am going to be using the Scholar Cal mostly because I had 2 options. I either had to change over to a metal helmet, or I had to upgrade the Weaver and the Mage Tower, which would have added an extra 450 tier 7 and tier 8 blocks onto the number of blocks I had to make, which is a lot of blocks. Almost 50% extra for tier 8. Which is a very large amount, and I didn't want to do that, but we ended up pulling this tier 8 Scholar Cal that we then pushed up to 8.3, and so that is exactly what we have. And if you're wondering why it says crafted by another player, it wasn't because I bought it from another player or because I killed a player for it. They actually changed the black market, where the black market, if you receive a drop, now also keeps the crafted by showing right here. So that is why it says it's crafted by another player. I would like to craft my own, but honestly, this just saves me so much time that I think I'm just gonna have to accept it. Now, I did say that it was an option to get these things as drops, but as I knew it was unrealistic in order for me to be able to do that, I didn't really want to do that. Another thing that I'm going to go ahead and brush over, something that I've done recently, is I did also get all of my hide gatherers to tier 4, which you'll see I have a lot of tier 4 contracts for gamekeepers, so I have those. Another thing that I also am about to do while I talk about whatever it is I'm talking about, so I don't just stand here for 5 minutes, 20 minutes straight, is actually start crafting. So I now currently have 20 Fletcher journals. Journals for crafters are just easier for me to fill, essentially. And of course, I'll still be able to fill my gathering journals while I'm doing the gathering for other stuff. So I don't really see too big of a problem doing this. So I'm going to go ahead and start trying to fill these journals while I talk about other things. So the next thing that I want to talk about is that I have all the money I need for premium, so if I stop playing, I can stop playing and be able to rebuy it. I've been trying to keep up with my farms. I've been doing kind of a bad job at it, but I want to, at some point, start working with higher tier foods, and that means that I essentially... Can I gather these? I have another 20 minutes on it. I need to get up to tier 6 animal breeder. So I've switched my herb garden over to a animal pen, and I'm going to be using the carrots that I get exclusively to feed my animals. This is because I need mostly to do gathering. Money making isn't something that I'm super worried about right now, and I can technically do money making without having the poisons to begin with. However, I'm about to reach level 30 animal breeder probably later today, and so I will be able to start growing sheeps, which I will be using to get sheep milk, which I will also be then using to make different types of food. For example, there's just some tier 6 foods that I would like to make at some point. For example, actually there's tier 7 food I'd like to make, which does require sheep's milk and pork, which I have to get pork, but I do have corn. I'd have to get my chef up to level 7, which I don't know if I want to do yet. I haven't decided, but it's an option. If I do this, I will be able to get the pork pies, which give us a 15% gathering yield over the 10%, which means I don't think it's actually worth it, but it is a thought for later. So basically, I'm doing this for the sake of getting sheep's milk, mostly because there are some things, like potions, for example, like tier 6 poisons that do require you having sheep's milk. And tier 6, having a tier 6 alchemist is a lot easier than having a tier 7 alchemist, but that is that. So I have been kind of trying to casually clear dungeons. I'm also just trying to level up my gatherers, my laborers, just passively. I also want to make just a bunch of different weapons or stuff or whatever, just because I kind of want to see what I get from these Fletcher journals, because I don't actually know. I've never really done it before. And I feel like this is kind of a waste of tier 2 hide. Anyway, I'm going to be trying to work my laborers the best I can. I don't really know exactly how I'm going to be doing this, but one of the things that I wanted to stress right now is that the majority of the things that I have left to do on this account is gathering. I know there's a couple of things, and I talked about this in my logistics of it, on my Ironman logistics video, and if you didn't watch it, it's a very lengthy math episode, but the bottom line of what I was trying to show or trying to do with that Excel spreadsheet was show that I can make my materials more efficient if I transmute my materials to a higher tier. It costs me silver, but I can make silver faster than I can gather the materials. It basically was showing the trade-off between transmuting materials using silver or gathering bulk amounts of low-tier materials. The consensus was, if I'm making only a mill an hour, which is very easy to do, especially with Slayer tier dungeons unlocked, I will save at least X amount of hours getting this amount of fame. I think the total thing that I came out with is if I was gathering 2 million fame worth of crafting, I would save myself 5 hours by transmuting to tier 6, but I would spend a lot of silver in the process, but it would be worth it, because 5 hours, that's a lot of hours that I could be spending either making more silver or gathering more materials. And so it's almost always worth it when you think about it like that. And so it's a lot of stuff going on. I've been trying to tend to my daily things. As far as the gathering skills go, we're doing pretty good, I would say. We're starting to push some of these things up into the higher tier, so I'm getting higher bonuses and all that kind of neat stuff. But as of right now, I'm pretty much just running through all of the gathering content that I can. even though I said I was done playing Albion, and I kind of am, I'm not really playing this game that much. I still do play on occasion because gathering is very easy to do, and I occasionally stream my gathering to show you guys that I am playing and to say hi to you guys, because I do, of course, always want to talk to you guys and interact with you guys, even though I don't really want to play Albion that much, so I still do it on occasion. I'm gonna go ahead and... Apparently I have 40k worth of repairs. Oh, right, I died clearing a dungeon because I was on mobile and the game lagged. And then I couldn't use abilities, and then I died. So that was always fun. You'll love to see it. Let's get some of our leather back, just because. Alright. I'm also going to scrap some of the stuff that I have on me if I can. But yeah, basically, I wanted to kind of talk about where I am, what I'm doing, because it's not just like, oh, I don't really want to play the game right now. It's also the fact that if I do play the game, which I kind of am on occasion, why it's taking me so long to make a video, because I've actually put in a rather large number of hours by comparison to my normal Ironman videos as far as how long I've played since the last upload. It's been a lot, but the problem mostly lies in the fact that I don't have much left, but the things that I have left to do are stuff that I don't think is worth recording. One of the biggest goals that we're working towards right now is getting every building to tier 7 that I want to tier 7, which if we go to our materials tab, you can see that I've already started gathering the stone for that process. I believe it's going to take me a total of 12,000 stone, and here's about 6,000 of it. So pretty good amount, but we're about halfway there. This will probably take me about 2 more hours-ish. If I get a time where no one's gathering stone in the area in which I gather stone, I can see myself finishing this in roughly only 2 hours, because I usually get about 1,500 stone per hour if no one else is taking it, which is actually pretty decent. I'm rather happy with that. And of course, you know, having the food, having the spec, having the tier 6 gear, it really, really helps with all that kind of neat stuff. So very excited to be working on that kind of stuff, and it does help motivate me a little bit to know that some of the goals, that even though they seem really far off, are achievable. Also, I did get a fawn for the giant stag, so that's kind of cool. But even some of the goals that I think and I feel like are super far away are actually rather obtainable, which is motivating, because even though I'm not playing a lot, if I'm getting bored of whatever it is I'm doing, I do like to take a break sometime, and this is a good place to do it, especially because I know I need to make some progress. And so I'm rather happy with that on occasion, but as for right now, I need to... I just thought about that, actually. Oh my god. I don't... Holy shit. Okay, so I just thought about this randomly. So I was thinking to myself, like, okay, well, if it's more efficient for me to transmute, right, I'm going to be getting tier 4 materials, then transmuting up to tier whatever, right? Well, if I'm transmuting up to tier 6, I'm going to be crafting at the tier 6 level, which means that my laborers, my fletchers, would have to be tier 6 to even do anything. And that means that I have to upgrade this hull essentially to tier 6. Or I could use it for tier 4 materials, but tier 4 materials are the cheapest of the bunch, which means that they're not really that hard to get, so I don't think that this is really what I want. I think I'm going to stick with the tier 4 gathering laborers, even though I really, really don't want to. I think it's just the best call, now that I think about it. So that's something that I just did in the video. That's kind of neat, I guess. I also did use the Kingmaker for a bit. Been just running around casually doing some Yellow Zone dungeons. Got a few thousand silver for it, you know, just doing whatever. I was doing it so I could fill up the Generalist trophy journals, so that I could level up these guys to tier 4, so I could pick them up and trade them out for other laborers, which, yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, I don't really care for laborers. I don't like doing laborers. But the fact of the matter is right now, boys, is that if I'm not playing a lot, I have to take everything that I can to increase the efficiency of the time that I do play. And I know this was kind of a weird offside episode. I'm so confused as to what I should be uploading. Like, I don't know what to tell you guys. Just know from this that I am close, that I'm still working on it slowly, very slowly, but I am working on this. and that I hope to eventually, I will finish this series. I told you guys from the very beginning, and I will get a full tier 8.3 set. That is something that I have put in almost 2.5 weeks of in-game time to start doing, and I am not going to be giving that up. I might not do it as fast as I anticipated, and it may take me a lot longer than I had hoped, but I'm not going to let this just float away and just not finish this objective. This is an objective that I myself wanted to finish for a very, very long time. I find this challenge more enjoyable than the actual game itself, to the point where I'm okay with still playing on occasion. Also, I got this from a monthly thingy, like a weekly coat, which is really cool because it's a weekly chest, sorry, which is cool because it's worth 3 mil. So that's kind of neat. Yeah, pretty sick. I mean, look at this guy. He looks awesome with his giant ass sword. It looks cool. But anyway, I have a few things that I want to do on this account before I really start grinding out the last things I need to do. The first thing I want to do is I want to go back into Slayer tier at some point. The downside to doing Slayer tier for me on this account, if you don't already know, a lot of people are just like, oh, we'll just go do dungeons, you'll get lots of money. Well, you're not wrong, 100%. You're totally right. But the downside to doing these high tier dungeons is getting 1200 item power, even at high spec, is still kind of hard. If you'll notice here, I have this Spectre Jacket at 4.2, which is kind of a pain, but that's 1200 IP. Getting this at 4.3 isn't even 1200 IP because I don't have the spec in it, but with my dual swords, for example, I do actually have this 1200 IP, so I could actually just use flat 6, which I usually just use 6.1 because it's what I have, you know, it's whatever. But the thing is, remaking this gear isn't difficult per se, but it's annoying. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of inconvenient to have to recraft my gear if I die, but the loot in Slayer tier dungeons is honestly kind of phenomenal, and it almost makes it worth the frustration of dying and having to recraft my set. I mean, most of the time I do get annoyed when I die, mostly because it's just so inconvenient, you know, because I have to do a whole bunch of shit to get my stuff back and to put everything back into place and get back to what I was doing and so on and so forth. I just find it very annoying more than anything. But I want you guys, I just wanted to make this video. I know this is a really weird for an Iron Man video to be more, I haven't really done anything on screen, and I'm sorry about that. I really am. But because I haven't been playing a lot, and because it's been so long since I've uploaded a video, I feel like it's just kind of hard to show exactly what's been going on, and to also show what has been done, because I tried it before. If you did see the video before I took it down, there was another version of this video, but I took it down because it felt bad and it was very confusing. And to avoid the confusion of basically uploading this video that was a lot of stuff that got done, I wanted to do something like this, where I sit down, I talk to you guys, explain the situation, more so than try to show you the situation. Because it's not something that I feel like I can do in a way that isn't just rapid fire clips, you know, like just throwing clips at you guys constantly and over, and it can be confusing, it can be annoying, and I don't want to do it wrong if I do it, and if I do it, I know I'm going to do it wrong, so I'm not going to. And so as for right now, I have 3 major objectives left. I have to upgrade my buildings. Actually, I have 4, I guess. 5, technically? Whatever. We'll say 5. I have 5 major things I have to do left. Some of them are a little bit shorter than others. One step is I have to get all of my buildings that I require to tier 7. The tier 7 buildings that I require to move on are the toolmaker, so I can make the tier 7 tools that I need. I need to make the tier 7 smelter, which isn't a lot of resources. Actually, no, I don't. I don't technically need that. Actually, no, I do. I most certainly do. I need a tier 7 smelter, a tier 7 tanner. I need a tier 7 blacksmith, which is on my other island. And I need a tier 7 hunter's lodge. And then I use the tier 7's tools that I receive from my toolmaker to gather tier 8 stone. Get the tier 8 stone cutter, which that's going to be a hell of a process on its own. I use a tier 8 stone cutter, create tier 8 blocks. I then upgrade my tanner, my smelter, my blacksmith, and my hunter's lodge. And then I have to get level 100 crafting in swords, boots, leather armor, and then I can start to actually craft my 8.3 set from scratch on an Ironman account. And as you can see, I have level 15 plate boot crafting, I have level 36 sword crafting. There is a lot of work to do and a lot of materials to gather. And so the next time you see me, I'm gonna have a materials tab that is going to make the group Ironmen jealous someday. That's my objective anyway. Am I gonna do that anytime soon? Probably not. But will it happen? You're damn right it will. And whenever it happens, we're gonna make a lot of progress really, really quickly. And I want all of it to be done in 2 more episodes. I want one episode to be the gathering of everything that I need to finish this video, to finish the series. And I want the last episode to be the execution of everything that I want to do. Will I get a tier 8 mount? No. Will I get a tier 8 bag? Probably not. Will I get a tier 8 cape? Probably not part 2. It's possible. Both the bag and the cape are doable. The mount is not going to happen. The food and the potions don't need to happen. I don't think that constitutes his gear. Getting a tier 8 bag and a tier 8 cape is not impossible, and if I end up doing a lot of money making through essentially doing my dungeons, my corrupted dungeons that I need to do, there's a very good chance I will receive a tier 8 bag and a tier 8 cape and also be able to increase them to 8.3. Very good odds of that happening at some point because they're actually very cheap to upgrade. So the bag and the cape will happen as I make the money for the crafting that I need for the other things. But that is those are the next 2 episodes. When will they come out? I honest to God have no clue. But just know that the next 2 episodes you see after this will be the gathering and then the finishing of the series and the finale. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know this was a very empty episode as far as content goes. Just know that so much happened in the last 2 months that also feels like nothing has happened in the last 2 months, that I just don't want to show all of the clips that I had. It didn't make sense. And also, I have a few things that I want to talk about, but this is the end of the video, so if you want to go ahead and click off, feel free. The last few things that I want to talk about. One, at the beginning of this video, there was a screen that said, "In loving memory of Irem, I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry to the person who asked me to do this." This was the unfortunate passing of a viewer that ended up happening about a month ago, maybe a little longer than that. And I was asked to basically put something in for that viewer, and I have no problems doing that. I hope that, of course, the person who asked me to do so is doing well. I'm sure you're probably watching this at some point. Thank you so much for your support. I'm sorry that it took me so long to get this video out the way I wanted to do it, or at least in general. And I hope that you're doing better. If you need us, we are in the Discord. If you need someone to talk to, we are here for you. So please do talk to us. Secondly, I need more Gamekeeper journals first off. I also have gotten a join button on the YouTube channel now. So if you guys have been considering trying to support me as a creator, there you go. There's your grade A opportunity. And one thing that I will also mention is that should you decide that you want to do so, I appreciate you. The perks, I was told, and I already knew, are not fantastic. And honestly, that's kind of intentional. The perks weren't really meant to be good. And they aren't meant to be good because I didn't really want to charge a lot. So that's actually incredibly cheap, believe it or not. And so if you want to check it out, feel free. My prices are $1, $2, and $3. The perks are, of course, not super fantastic, but it's more for those who want to support me, more so than people who want extra perks from the channel. And so I hope that is okay with some of you guys. But as for the last thing that I'm going to mention is thank you so much for watching. Your guys' support has really been great. I know sometimes these videos don't get out to everybody. And so, of course, make sure that you are in the Discord channel so you see whenever I upload, and also make sure that you guys are, checking out the community tab on occasion because I do post things there. And if you guys are excited for the end of the series to see it finally happen, please let me know by liking the video, because I'm gonna be honest with you boys, the motivation that you guys give me is actually rather surprising by what you might think. Like, you might not think that you guys watching the video and liking the video or whatever and commenting doesn't help as much as you think it does, but it really, really does. It helps motivate me a lot because it makes me know that even though I hate playing this game most of the time, that you guys really do want to see the end of the series, and I really do want to upload the end of the series for you. So please let me know by throwing a like on the video, subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, because I know I'll do the whole YouTuber thing. I know half of y'all aren't subscribed. I get 5,000 views on these videos sometimes, and I've gotten 10,000 plus views on these videos before, and I only have 2,000 subs. So if you got this far and you're not subscribed, just do it already, because the series is coming to an end, and I have a few ideas of what I'm going to do with the gear whenever I finish, and of course only my subscribers will have access to what I do with that gear. So just a thought and a hint, maybe. Anyway guys, I'm going to try to getting some gathering done while I have a touch of motivation and while I'm in game, because I might as well. But I will catch you guys later. I love you guys. Thank you so much for all of your support. I will see you in the next video with a lot of resources. Have a good one, guys. And again, I do apologize, but we're in the end game, and as such, you have to expect that this is going to take a lot of time.